Bonjour, bienvenue au French Tech Podcast. Welcome to the French Tech Podcast. Still here covering the Big Data World Conference in Singapore. Very happy to welcome Charles from Blockchain Xdev. Hi, welcome Charles.
Yeah, thank you very much. We are very happy to be here and to have the opportunity to explain what we are doing and what we want to do here in APAC area.
Could I ask you to quickly introduce yourself as well as your company?
Yeah, of course. So I'm Charles Kremer. I'm leading the Blockchain Xdev, which is a technology firm based on the blockchain technology, and we try to help our customers from big players to startups to understand and implement blockchain technology and to make business out of it.
So what kinds of companies do you mostly serve? Is it mostly big corporations or startups? Or
It's basically both. So for the moment we are mostly working with main big company in the various business area like automotive, air transportation, finance of course, but we are also lately supporting some startup developing their technology technical solution based on the blockchain technology. So it's like a turnkey project for us. So we develop end to end, we design and we develop and we implement everything for the startup.
And for big companies, do you do that? Do you do the whole process as well? Can you deliver proofs of concept? How long do you stay with a big corporation on a particular project?
Well, it depends on the need. For one big company in France, we are providing strategic consulting. So it's like a few months consulting. We try to teach them what is blockchain, for them to be able to understand how they can leverage blockchain technology into business opportunity, and then we try to identify with them some use case, business case, and we have just confirmed with the board of one main big player in France on the finance area some business case based on blockchain technology, and now we are more in the phase implementing phase, with them. So and for some other case we are developing some POC, some MVP. We also are, so far we are dealing with a big automotive consortium which are willing to develop blockchain-based products to manage the car data lifecycle issue, and we consider that blockchain technology is very suitable to tackle this issue.
Do you think that overall in Europe, which in certain ways compared to here, and we'll talk about the difference between these two markets, in terms of blockchain is perhaps a little bit less fast? I don't want to say less mature, but it's definitely going at a slower pace. Do you find that corporates are today still more interested in the analysis of the market, the business cases, rather than delivering real POCs?
Well, it really depends on the sector. You consider if you look at the finance sector, insurance sector, then they are not at the business analysis phase. They don't want to understand. They don't need to understand what is blockchain technology and how they can make business out of it. They want to deliver. So they are having so far main development project based on blockchain technology. And if you look at some other area. For example, like automotive, because this is one sector I can talk about. We are more in the market analysis phase. Developing some POC to understand where is the value, what is the value of blockchain technology. And some startups are coming up, but it's still at early stage, I would say, for this kind of sector. Yeah, it depends. It depends on the sector, but at the end of the day, every sector will be impacted by blockchain technology, but of course it's born in the financial sector. For the moment, it's the main sector where blockchain technology could be implemented. But for step by step, it will go to any other sector, I would say.
So currently you're based in Europe, right? That's where almost all of your activity is, and you're in Singapore to explore the possibilities of expanding into the Southeast Asian market.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, Singapore, it's for us. It's of course it's a main financial hub, main logistic hub, which is two main sector impacted by blockchain technology. So for us, it's obvious to be in Singapore to try to leverage our own skills to support main player, SME, startup, and so on to develop some blockchain projects. So we are so far discussing with main player, which could be French player installed in Singapore or Singapore player as well, which are dealing in this kind of sector, and they already have some project in mind, already have some project running. So we consider, of course, it's a place to be also to implement our skills in blockchain technology support.
So Singapore might be the place to be in Southeast Asia, but could you perhaps talk to the reason why you find the Southeast Asian market particularly interesting?
Because it's market where we really need traceability. You know, it's as I said, it's a big hub in terms of logistics. We need to. There is big lack of trust, you know, in some logistics. The market is really fragmented, so we need to implement some this kind of technology to provide trust between all the business partners and for them, of course, to improve their current business. So that's why we consider it's very important to be here, not only in Singapore, of course, but in the APAC area, because Singapore it's a hub, and they are dealing with Malaysia, Thailand, and so on, and we consider it a strategic place, in order to be in the middle of all the logistic project, the finance project, and some other business area that also will be impacted by blockchain so far.
So you're still in the early stages of expanding internationally and extending your reach here in the Southeast Asian region. Could you talk to some of the challenges of making that move?
The main challenge, of course, is to be known. To be known. We are a French company. We are not Singapore. We are not installed. So it's a new country for us, new culture. So we have to be known. So that's why, ecosystem like French Tech, they will help us for sure to do this. But we also consider that we have good track record. With of course French player, but very well-known French player like EDF, like Air France. I suppose here in Singapore everybody knows about them, so it's a good track record for us. It's a good reason to be here and to make us confident that we can develop business here. But even though it's still tough, main challenge in order to identify good people. It's like business development. It's hard everywhere, even more when you don't know the country, the people and network. So we have to come regularly in order to make our move in the network in Singapore. But we are quite confident that by the end of the year we will have a first deal in Singapore. I would say strategic deal in terms of not in terms of, I would say, in business side, but in terms of strategic side. We are in mind some deal with main player in Singapore or Malaysia, for example, which will be for us a big first move, to have afterwards some bigger project.
Oh, those kinds of collaborations can be essential in those early stages and to really get a foothold here in the region, right?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Well, thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us, Charles. Yeah. Really interesting. I'm sure you will keep us posted through French Tech about how things are developing here for you in Singapore.
Yeah.
And I hope you're having a good time here at the conference.
Yeah. So thank you very much for having me and for giving me the chance to talk about what we are doing and our move in Singapore.
Our pleasure.